Thank you for inviting me to this great opportunity to let you know all about Tennessee State University graduate programs that we have. There again, let me introduce myself. My name is Audie Black. I am the Director of Graduate Recruitment here at Tennessee State University. And I also have Dr. Deborah Bellamy that is here from our global online programs, also at Tennessee State University. So before I start, Dr. Bellamy, you want to give a welcome?
Sure. I wasn't expecting this. It's a surprise, but thank you for inviting me. I'm Dr. Deborah Bellamy. I'm the Executive Director for TSU Global Online, and I look forward to having any students who want to come and join us at Tennessee State University in our Global Online programs. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Bellamy. And I want to also extend my welcome to Dr. Beverly Ahmad. Thank you so much for allowing Tennessee State University to have this opportunity. So as I proceed, I have a PowerPoint to let you know about our program. So let me get that started. Let me share my screen here. Please let me know if you can see this. Let's see. And we had a rainstorm last night. So, yes, this is the School of Graduate and Professional Studies. There again, like I said, my name is Audie Black, and we want to welcome you. Tennessee State want to welcome you. Now, Tennessee State University have one university, but we have two campuses. And what you're seeing right now is our main campus. And of course, me and Dr. Bellamy, we work on our downtown campus where we have most of our College of Business, where all the students will go there. So we do have one university, but two locations. And also on behalf of Tennessee State University, our president, which is President Glendon Glover, we want to also greet you and welcome you as well. We also have our provost, which is Dr. Robbie Melton, which is the vice president of Tennessee State University, too. Now, we take pride in, and I don't know if you can see that, we take pride in our Carnegie Foundation classifications as an R2, which is our doctoral university high research, which means that's an endowment over $5 million in our research that we have. So this is a good honor for us. We are working very hard to become an R1 under the Carnegie Foundation with our research department. Also with our smart graduate programs, we are preparing our students now for advanced studies in the post-pandemic rebound careers, because we know that when COVID hit back in 2020, there was a lot of things that we had to change as far as curriculum to make sure that our students now are going to be marketable for the workforce. So that's what we have done. We have a lot of now online courses that we have that will pertain to the job market out there. We have a National Center Smart Technology Innovation. Tennessee State University now have a Smart Technology Center at our Avon Williams campus, where you can learn all about different digital devices, more about how the new digital instruments and stuff that's coming, like artificial intelligence is now coming. And so we're learning more about those programs as well, on which we already know that technology has created a huge shift in our life. And it's almost like you cannot be without any part of technology. Now, I don't know how, some generations, I can tell you that, like 10 or, I could say 10, 20 or 10 years ago, we didn't have what you call a smartphone or a smartwatch, okay? We had to do everything, we'll just say manually, or we had a telephone to where it is, you didn't have the GPS on that. So technology is a wave of the future. So learning about technology is a huge thing that would help you in your career and also with your education. Okay, when I did the research, I wanted to find out back in 2021, I was looking to see what skills was in demand now for to be marketable for these careers that's out here. And I learned that there were mostly social skills that you have to have. Now, social skills is not too much a word that you can learn from someone. This is something that you just automatically sometimes have to have. Like what they're looking for now, say for instance, they're looking for technology design and program. Now, technology design and program, this is more than just an idea to have. You have to have the ability and the knowledge to design and program this technology. In other words, they're looking for someone who can be able to design and also program and to allow to see if that works, as well as emotional intelligence. So you say, what is emotional intelligence? Emotional intelligence is to have the ability to have the emotions, not only of yourself, but also the emotions of others and how to interact and be with them to show them that you have, like you say, empathy when it's time. So you have to have that emotional intelligence. And these are some of the skills as well as critical thinking and analysis. So here are some Tennessee State's graduate programs. We have 8 graduate, what you could say, programs in these colleges. We have the College of Ag, we have the College of Business, we have the College of Education, and the College of Engineer. Now, these 4 colleges here are our main colleges that also implements scholarships on their own, individual scholarships from these departments, okay? Also, we have health sciences, where we have our nursing and public administration, public health. We have liberal arts, our criminal justice, life and physical science. This is where our chemistry and our biology comes under, and also public service. So that's more so like into, say, for instance, for state jobs or anything like that, if you're looking to get jobs within the state. One other that is not shown on here is non-degree. So if you also want to come in and don't have any degree plan, we'll also go ahead and apply you for a non-degree until you figure out what degree that you might want to go in or what career path that you might want to go in. You can also take courses just to have some education on those courses if you're not for sure what degree you want to come in. Okay, we now have our global online programs. Now, in the last couple of years, we have now over 33 global online programs. And as the year is going by, we're adding more and more. We have online programs as well as certificates. So therefore, if you don't want to get into a degree, we also have certificates that can help you advance your career. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky here. Let's see here. Okay, now, yeah. All right, let me go back here. Okay, and it's gonna say, here are some of our global online programs that are available. And also what we're offering right now for the fall semester is where you can register for a course. You can register for a course and we will, that is under the Presidential Scholarship for a value of $1,600. Right now, Dr. Melton has an AI course that she's giving that if you apply for the fall semester, we're able to go ahead and take care of that AI course for you. And this is something that is new. Everybody wants to know about artificial intelligence. So Dr. Melton is going to be the instructor. It is going to be a 5-week course. And if you apply, if you hit the presidential scholarship, when you get the flyer, or you can use this QR code, and I can give you more information with that. I can put that in the chat for you. This course will be, we're offering this course, and this will be paid for 1 credit semester hours for only 5 weeks, which will start on September the 8th, and it'll end on October the 6th. So we're asking if you're interested in learning anything about artificial intelligence, this is the time to apply for that course for this fall semester. When you, the QR code is going to send you directly to this link right here. This is where you would fill in your information, okay, in order to get that waived, to get that free course waived. Okay, and I will, at the end, I'll also put that information in the chat. Now, I will walk you through the steps from all the way from the application to apply. You just need to get in contact with me, and I'll walk you through those steps. Now, also, did you know that the benefits of being in graduate school or getting a graduate degree is that more education will equal to potential to work in these certain areas, which is in healthcare, education, and counseling. And over 700,000 jobs in these fields are now projected to be added between 2019 and 2029. So it's very important and very important for you to come in, as you're coming in as a graduate, to get that graduate degree in order to be able to have the skills and the knowledge to have a career in these career fields. Okay, next slide. Okay, so here are some of the do's and don'ts when you're applying to grad school. Let me share with you the do. Do it now. Don't delay. Okay, this is when you go to our inquiry form to get started, you can go to this website here, which is www.gotnstate.edu. You can fill out this inquiry form. This inquiry form will take you to the next step, which is this is right here. It will show you the inquiry form, and this will tell you who your advisor is and give you all the information that you need on this page. Then you hit apply now there at the top, okay, and then it will take you directly to the program. Now, we have 8 different CAS. These CAS applications are dependent on what program you choose. So we have 8 different CAS programs. We have grad CAS, business CAS, psychology CAS, engineering CAS. So it all depends on what your program is that you choose will be the CAS application that will come up. But they're all designed the same. Now, these are centralized application system, which means that we're not the only university that use this application system, okay? So you must complete, this is the application itself. You must complete all 4 squares. There is, at this point, there is no application fee, and it was, and this is just an example, there was to where we will give you a coupon code, but the way we've set it up now, all you have to do is complete the application and it's not even asking you for an application fee. All right. This is the, when you add your program, you have to make sure that you put Tennessee State University in the search engine box, because there again, like I said, there are more universities that are using this. So we want to make sure that you put Tennessee State University so you can get those programs that Tennessee State is offering. And on here on the left-hand side, you will see these plus. And so when you get to what program that you is interested in, then you just click on the little plus and it will turn it green. You'll get a green check mark on it, okay? Now, here's also our QR code where you can apply now. And the contact information, as I stated, is myself. And here is my email address as ablack1@tnstate.edu. And my telephone number here at the office is area code 615-963-7269. And I want to thank you so much for your opportunity to listen. And if you have any questions, we can answer that as they stated at the end of this program. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Black, for this amazing presentation. There was a lot of resources that you put in the chat. So those who didn't see, we've had some links shared in the chat. I've also put on our WhatsApp pages. I've taken a screenshot of Dr. Black's contact so I can put on your WhatsApp pages for us. Thank you. So please take note of your questions. We'll have Dr. Black come back after Dr. Desi Hacker's presentation. Then she can take your questions and answer them. But please, if you're enjoying this, feel free to engage with us in the chat session. So hello, Dr. Hacker. It's time to hear from you. Thank you, Dr. Black, once again.
Hello, and thank you. So I will also share my screen. So are you seeing it as a PowerPoint or is it black also?
We see a PowerPoint now.
Okay. Do you see it in the window or do you see it in the program?
We see in the window, in the program.
Oh, okay. Hold on a second.
Yeah, you need to do it.
I think I'm having the same issue. So while I am figuring this out, I will also introduce myself. I am Dr. Desi Hacker. I am the Assistant Dean for the School of Graduate Studies and Research at Norfolk State University. And I am very happy to be with you guys this morning to talk to you about Norfolk State University. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about Norfolk State. We're located in Norfolk, Virginia, which is on the East Coast of the United States. We have a student population of about 5,700, with a graduate population of about 10% of that population. About 600 of our students are graduate students. Of that 600, about 5% are international, and most of our students are from the African countries who are international students at the university. So we believe that while we have a small international student population, it's a place where students from African countries feel a lot of support because they have peers that they can work with and collaborate with. You'll see the lovely pictures over here to the right. This is Norfolk, Virginia. It's the 7 cities where you get exposed to a lot of different kinds of experiences in our area. It's where the largest naval bases are located in the United States, as well as a lovely beach for fun activities, because we know as a graduate student, you work hard, but you also need to play a little bit as well. So I'm going to go right into what we have to offer, and then I'll back out a little bit and talk to you about kind of the university as a whole. So we have master's and doctoral programs at the university, and the ones that you see bolded are the ones that typically our international students are enrolled in. So they tend to be the science and technology ones, similar to what Dr. Black was talking about, technology is the way of the world today. And so we have some really strong technology programs. We have computer science, electronic engineering, cybersecurity, which I did not bold, and material sciences. But we also have graduate programs in education and the liberal arts, which are music, social work, urban affairs, public, and then we have our health programs such as health administration, health informatics, and public health. So we have a wide range of programs at the master's level, and we offer them in different formats. So we have online programs as well. In the online format, we have our cybersecurity program, our healthcare administration, health informatics, and also some of our teaching programs. We also offer another format, which is what we call online accelerated programs. This is where students take classes every 7 weeks. So it's to get you through a program within a year or a year and a half. So you'll see the options that we have for our online accelerated programs. They're in engineering, cyber psychology, which is a newer up and coming field, computer science, special education, and urban education, which is training people to work in urban communities, as well as any teaching institution to prepare them to be principals or English or math teachers. We additionally offer several PhD and terminal degree programs. We have PhDs in clinical psychology, material sciences and engineering, social work, both online and in person. And then we have a terminal degree program in visual studies. What's unique about our clinical psychology and material sciences programs is students with bachelor's degrees can get admitted into those doctoral programs. So if you're interested in going straight into a doctoral program in those areas, then you can do that with a bachelor's degree. So why graduate school? Some of what Dr. Black is saying is what I'm saying here. It actually teaches you more advanced skills. In graduate school, the goal is for you to become leaders where you apply knowledge, just become aware of the knowledge that's out there, but also teaches you research skills to add to the knowledge base so that you can contribute to the growth that's going on in society. It also provides you greater job opportunities. In the US, when we look at those with higher degrees, they are much more likely to have jobs and get better pay in those jobs than students who may be at the high school or the college level, depending upon the field that they're in. We also know that students who get graduate degrees are more likely to get promoted into leadership positions. So that's another opportunity for those who decide to go beyond the college degree. Why graduate school? Because what you're doing is not really what you want to do, or it's not meeting your needs in terms of professional growth. And so you can go back in and get specialized in an area that really does suit you better. And graduate school is the place to do that. The other thing that we found with research is those students who tend to have graduate degrees also are much more likely to try to do even more things to improve society, to make a difference in our world with their skill set and their knowledge base. So those are some of the reasons why you really should think about graduate school as an option for you at this point in your life. But there's often questions that students have, especially first-generation college students. When I was teaching at the undergraduate level, many times students were saying, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I can do it. I'm afraid graduate school will be too hard for me. In reality, if you get admitted into a graduate program, then the program has decided that you have the skill set and they believe you have the ability to be successful. Most people who get into graduate school say that it's not necessarily difficult to do the work, but it is a lot of work and it's a lot about juggling things. So academically, if you get admitted, then the program thinks you're prepared and they think you can do the work. And it's a matter of balancing all of the different things that are required of you in graduate school. Most students have what we call an imposter syndrome, like they let me in, but they don't really know that I can do this. And trust us, we've been doing this long enough that if we let people in, there's a really good chance that they are going to be successful and go out and do great things. Another concern that students might have is, I'm tired of school, have been in school long enough, I don't want to be in school much longer. It depends upon your program, but most master's programs are 2 years long. Doctoral programs tend to be longer than that, but we also have the accelerated programs, as I mentioned earlier, where you can complete a graduate degree in a year or a year and a half. So you want to do the research to see how long it takes to complete a program. And one of the things that you also want to do if you're considering graduate school is to look at the graduation rate and the time to completion and the programs that you are looking at. Do most students graduate within the time limit that is set? Or do you see a lot of students who are taking a long time to get out? And that's by asking questions. And some programs, some universities put it on their website. I know when I was looking for graduate school, I did not want to be in school forever. I was a first-generation college student. And so I looked at if the program was a 4-year program, how many students graduate in 4 years? Because I believe that program would then provide the support for me to do what I needed to do to get out and continue to move on in my life. At NSU, our students typically complete their programs within the time limit. We always have some who don't, but we really support students in terms of trying to get the courses they need, the support they need to complete their programs. Another concern that the first-generation college students or those who are considering graduate school think about is, I don't really want to do research. That's not what I want. I haven't done a whole lot of it. I'm not sure if I can do that. I don't know, which is number 4, if I can write a thesis or a dissertation. There are many graduate programs that are not research-intensive programs. They're more skill and application-based programs. So if that is not the area that you want to go into, then look at those programs that might not require that. However, if it does, don't let that deter you. Programs typically are set up to provide the support you need to do what you need to do. You have to do the work, but they will provide the support for you to be successful in that area as well. And then the final area that I hear students talking about is the cost. Can I afford to go to graduate school? And that is a legitimate concern. And so I am happy to hear that this program will talk about country support that might be available. But as Dr. Black says, the universities often have some type of support for some students, not a lot always, but we do try to provide whatever support is possible. And I'll talk to you about what we have to offer at NSU as well. So that's why graduate school and why you shouldn't let those things deter you from considering graduate school. So why NSU? NSU typically has small class sizes. Our average programs are 30 students or so. We have some bigger ones, but that provides you an opportunity to get to know your professors. You get to know your classmates. You get opportunities to do some different kinds of things because it's a small enough program that your faculty are looking for opportunities to support you. We also have state-of-the-art labs, research labs in particular in our science and technology divisions. We have Micron NSU nanofabrication clean room, which is one of the few clean rooms on this side of the country and at a university that allows you to do state-of-the-art research if you're interested in sciences and engineering and material sciences in particular. We have a state-of-the-art cybersecurity complex where we're doing cutting-edge work in the area of cybersecurity, where you get to work with well-renowned faculty, where you also get to work on state-of-the-art equipment and working with other graduate students as well as undergraduate students in our complex. Much like many other programs, we have experiential and enhanced learning opportunities. Many of our students get internships at national companies such as NASA, such as Google, and then they have other learning opportunities. If you're in our media and communications program, we have a state-of-the-art radio station. If you're in one of our health programs, we have clinical placements where you get excellent supervision and training in terms of meeting your needs. And then additionally, our office provides lots of professional development opportunities, as well as the academic programs provide opportunities for students. And then, like I said, the Hampton Roads community has a plethora of opportunities for students to get some personal support outside of the university setting. So why else NSU? We provide a lot of support resources. We have a writing center where we have dedicated people who work with graduate students. We provide free Grammarly access that helps with just general writing things. We have a counseling center, health services, career services to help you look for job opportunities. And then our Office of International Students, called OASIS, is also there to welcome international students in particular, connect them. They have an international student festival each year where they bring students together to get to know each other. And then we also have a graduate student association. And this is an organization that really does provide a lot of the social support and resources and serve as the voice of graduate students at the university. So why NSU? From a Ghanaian student who got his MS in computer science. He said, I found out about NSU from a coworker who was applying. I knew nothing about the school. However, he said he was enthusiastic about it because of the people he knew who was attended. He decided to apply and got in and received a graduate assistantship working in the Office of Information Technology. From the beginning, he said he realized he was provided the support and opportunities that he may not have gotten at a larger, higher ranked school. He got to know his professors, and he was able to shape his experiences to get exposure to systems that allowed him to get a job that met his need. And in addition, he had the support of a network of students who came from his home country that made the transition easy. He had gotten admitted into some of the top-ranked universities in the United States and decided that NSU was the better fit for him and felt that it was the best decision that he made. So I think it would be a great opportunity for you guys to consider NSU if you are looking at graduate school as well. Now, funding. We do have a limited number of graduate assistantships for international students. The awards are typically made through the departments after admissions, and these are primarily in our science and technology programs. These assistantships cover tuition, and they cover work requirement, where you work up to 20 hours a week, typically 300 hours per semester, as long as you remain in good academic standing. So you get paid bi-weekly. The types of assistantships are both research and teaching. So you are either working in a research lab, or you're assisting a faculty or a lab, like a computer lab or an engineering lab, assisting students to be successful in their careers. These are typically awarded based on admissions and not by application. We do have some assistantships across the university where you may be able to work in our student support center, where you provide tutoring to students, undergraduate students, or you might work in an administrative office. And what we do from my office is send out announcements of graduate assistantships that are coming up and the application process that can support you. And those assistantships also provide tuition, so that tuition is covered for students at the university. As I said, the types of positions are the graduate assistant, which can be an administrative assistant, a teaching assistant, a lab assistant. And then we have students who also work in our housing unit, where they serve as graduate RAs. And that's when they're working with students who are living in our residence housing. That covers your room and board and also provides a stipend each month for students. And there's an application process that's also on our website. Our application process, you just go to www.nsu.edu/apply and you complete an application. That should take about 30 minutes to complete. It's not an overly complicated application to complete. You select the application type as a graduate application. We do have a fee for our application. Unfortunately, Dr. Black, I wish we could waive our fees for everybody as well, but we have not. However, by attending this event, you can contact the graduate school at nsu.edu, and we can give a fee waiver code for being a part of this group. Typical items that are needed for an application are a resume and an unofficial transcript to start off. But for international students, we do require an evaluated transcript so that we can ensure that we can interpret your academic experience in the context of the US standards. You also may need to do a personal statement. You may need to get letters of recommendations. If English is not your native language, then you'll need an English proficiency test score. And then some programs require a portfolio. But all of these other items, except for the evaluated transcript and the TOEFL, are program specific. So you would want to look in the application portal where it will show you what supplemental items are required for an application. And that is it in terms of an overview of what we have to offer at NSU. I am very happy to talk to you guys, answer any questions that you have about our institution. I feel that all HBCUs do their best to support the students that come into the system, and NSU is no different than that. We want to make sure that we see your future and see the future leader in you as an NSU Spartan. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Haka. I think it's time to take questions. This was a great presentation. Let me highlight, if you missed it, Dr. Haka says, if you are on today's session, you get a waiver for your application to NSU. And you know, application for Tennessee University is free. So we are getting all the good deals today. So please let me iterate it so you don't miss it. So you know that is your, your foot into the gate. That's your first foot into the gate. So let's say a big thank you for that. Before we go on with the questions, if you have any question, just put your hands up and we can take your question. I see Aisha, you put your question in the chat, but now that we've opened the floor, kindly feel free to unmute yourself and ask your question.
Hello everyone. Sorry if you hear any noise in my background, but my question was if your first degree, so in Ghana, English may not be our first language, but that's the language used in our education system. So I'm just wondering if, let's say, your secondary and university degrees were taught in English, do you still need to write the English assessment tests?
I'm going to go on behalf of Tennessee State University. We know that Ghana, the country of Ghana, is primary English speaking, so that is waived. So there are no IELTS or TOEFL scores that you would need to apply to Tennessee State University. That is not required.
That is similar for NSU as well. If you indicate you're from Ghana, and then the English requirement is waived. If you indicate that your native language is not English, though, and you attended an English-speaking university, then it's also waived. Or if you took two English courses and got a C or better in those courses, then the English requirement is waived as well.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions? Just put your hands up and I'll call your name. Okay, quick one. Do you require GRE score as part of the application process?
So I'll start this one. The only program that requires a GRE at NSU is the PhD in social work. Our other programs do not require standardized test scores.
Okay, and as far as Tennessee State University, our College of Ag does require a GRE, and the reason why is that because they give the scholarships themselves, where if you come into their programs, they are going to pay for your entire tuition fee for that semester that you come in. So therefore, that is a requirement from the College of Agriculture. However, the College of Business is only requiring a GMAT, and as long as you have a 3.0 GPA, then that GMAT is waived. Now, the College of Engineering does not require GRE at all. So it all depends pretty much on your program. And also the College of Education does not require any test scores. Okay.
All right, thank you. Should all recommendations be academic? From Mahmoud Jallo from Gambia. So this question is from Gambia. He says, should all recommendations be academic?
Okay, now if you're seeking a degree for an international student, that is required that you choose a degree program. However, we now have online programs that you can go into to where you don't even have to leave your country, and you can also apply and be at Tennessee State University doing an online course right there at your home, anywhere, any place, right there.
The
okay.
Question is about recommendation letter. Or Jallo, can you just come off mute and ask your question so it's clear? I think you are talking about recommendation letter. So please, if you can come off mute.
Yeah, so I was asking if the recommendation letters should be academic or maybe from your professional work, your superiors can recommend you.
Now, what the Tennessee State University, we look for, we need those recommendations for those high officials, if you know, or even church officials that you go to, someone who can speak very highly of you. So yes, we recommend those coming from those recommenders. Yes, sir.
And at NSU, we prefer if you can get at least a faculty member to do one of those letters of recommendation. However, if you've been out in the profession for a while and you're coming back, then a supervisor is sufficient in terms of letters of recommendation. For our education program, someone in the education system would be required for a letter of recommendation. So it can vary a little bit in terms, depending upon the program. For our more practice type programs or our accelerated programs, we know that lots of working professionals are coming back and they haven't stayed in touch with academic people. So we don't expect you to be able to get letters from academic folks for letters or recommendations as well.
Okay, thank you. There's one more question about MBA. Please, can this person come off mute? Because your name says Felicia. I think there was an issue with our Zoom. Does any of the schools offer comprehensive scholarship for MBA program? Who is asking this question? Can you share your name and where you are joining in from, please?
Hi, it's Margaret Ando from Accra.
Hi, Margaret. Please ask your question.
Yeah, so basically I wanted to find out if they have comprehensive, and comprehensive I mean is that they're covering tuition, sometimes accommodation, basically everything about your education, your accommodation, living expenses and everything for the MBA programs.
All right, thank you, Margaret.
Okay, I'm going to speak on our MBA programs. I won't say that they will give you a scholarship for the whole tuition, but there again, there are scholarships in different departments that we have. College of Business is one of them. So that means that if they have scholarships available, they will give you the scholarship that they have. And it might not cover your entire tuition, but they will give you a scholarship for what they have available. Now, just like Dr. Hacker was saying, we have graduate assistantship, which I did not mention at the time. We have graduate assistantship, teacher assistantship, and also research assistantship as well, to where you are eligible to get those scholarships within the university. And I can give you more information, and that's also on our website too, when you go under graduate assistantship. You will get that information, but I can explain it to you more if you're more interested in it. Just get in contact with me, email me.
And unfortunately, we're working on this, but we do not have an MBA program at Norfolk State at this time. So no awards for that.
Tennessee State University would be more than happy to have you.
Oh, nice. So thank you for the answer. So please, does any of the schools offer scholarship for a fashion program from Florence? Fashion
for fashion? For fashion?
Yes. Fashion program.
We don't have a graduate program in fashion. We have a fine arts program, but that's not a fashion degree program.
Thank you.
And I want to say that as well, too. We have our human sports performance. We have liberal arts, but not per se like fashion design or merchandising. No, we don't.
Thank you. That was from Florence. Any more questions? Please ask all your questions.
Yeah. So
I'm not taking questions. Okay. Who is on the floor?
Yeah, so I have a question. That's me, Aisha.
Okay.
So I just for Tennessee State University, you mentioned you have a degree in nursing, and I wanted to find out if someone has a diploma in nursing or midwifery in Ghana, are they able to use that diploma to enroll on your nursing course, or they would have to use a high school certificate to enroll into the nursing program?
Okay, and far as long as you have, say for instance, if you have a bachelor's degree coming in, if you have your qualifications to where you have taken courses for nursing, that is what the graduate program is looking for. So there are certain qualifications that you do have to have, and also documentations for the School of Nursing. And I can also give you more information from our Dr. Donna Kenderson, who is the head of and the director of our School of Nursing that we have here. And she can give you more insight, because I don't want to say exactly what all the documentations they're looking for in nursing. But there are some certifications that you should have in order to get into the nursing programs, which we have different concentrations. We have family practitioner. We also have holistic nursing, and there are others. So there are different criteria that you have to have and have that met to come in.
Thank you.
Okay.
There's a link. Dr. Bellamy has put a link in the chat session. So Aisha, you may want to reference to reference.
Yeah, all right. I think I was asking about bachelor's degree in nursing, but I would contact her for the information.
Thank you.
Okay, yes, because Dr. Donna Kenderson, she's with the graduate program, so but they do have a bachelor's degree as well for her to come into nursing. So yes, definitely check with her, and we will put her email information in the chat as well. Okay.
We also have a bachelor's in nursing degree at NSU, and I believe it's an online program partially. So you can also look at NSU as an option for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's another question from Charles. Charles is asking, do you prefer official transcripts during the application or after getting accepted, please?
So because we require an evaluated transcript for international students, we need that whether it's official or unofficial. for the application review process. So if you're going to have to do it, you may as well send the official one. So if you get in, it's done.
Any more? Charles, did you get that?
Can you repeat that question there? I was typing in the chat. So can you repeat that question?
So the question asked, Charles was asking is, do you prefer an official transcript during the application process, or after getting the acceptance into the school? So at what stage would you want to get the official transcript?
Yes, for all of our international students that are seeking a degree, that is a requirement. You have to have an evaluated transcript, and it has to be official for the departments to make a departmental decision for eligibility to Tennessee State University. However, if you are coming in and taking an online course, then we will accept an unofficial copy of your transcript if you have that. But more than all, those transcripts have to be evaluated through an evaluated institution. And one that we recommend is the World Education Services. And we ask that you have that course by course evaluation.
And that's true for NSU, the course by course evaluation, because we need to equate the courses and the grades.
Okay, so thank you. So Charles is saying that he's asking this question because sometimes it takes a while to get your official transcript after graduation. So for instance, now that he's in final year and he's trying to apply, how does he go about it? Does he need to complete school before, he gets that, or what? But I think he also says his question is answered. Unfortunately, he's in the library, so he cannot speak out loud. That's why he's engaging us on the chat session. Have we taken all our questions, guys? We have a few more minutes to go. We have about 10 minutes to take a few more questions. So do you have more questions? Because I'm enjoying the conversation. I think I also had a question. My question was about the PhD in NSU. I know some universities allow you to apply from undergraduate straight to do your PhD, and some will require you to do a master's. So is it possible for one to apply to do a PhD? I'm asking because we also know from this part of the world that there's a high tendency of getting a full scholarship for a PhD than a master's degree. So what is the strategic way for us to do it, especially when we don't have enough money saved to support whatever scholarship we'll get?
So for our clinical psychology program, which is a different application process because it's a joint program with a sister university in the area, and our material sciences PhD program, you can get into those programs straight from the bachelor's degree. So if you meet the criteria, then you can be considered straight for that doctoral degree.
Oh, good. Is that same for Tennessee State, Dr. Black? Sorry, you're on mute.
Okay, that is pretty much the same. Yes.
All right. Thank you very much. Someone is asking, how do we get the application waiver, Dr. Hacker? The application
waiver. Yes. Yes. So what I will do is I will send an application fee waiver code to the point of contact with you guys, and you can distribute that to the students. I will do that tomorrow. Okay.
All right, thank you. I think everyone was required to register for today's session. So we have the email, so we'll send out the emails to everyone. Please, is that okay?
That's fine.
Perfect. Are we getting any more questions here? Okay, if you're not asking questions, okay. Any chance we can get an idea of the average cost of taking a master's program in respective to programs like tuitions, cost of living, among others?
Okay, as far as Tennessee State University, I'm going to say one course is like 3 credit semester hours. So 3 credit semester hours for graduate out of state is 300 it's $3,451. However, that if you're an international student, there is an additional $100. So you're looking at a total of $3,541 for that semester, taking a 3-hour course, a 3 credit semester hour course. Yes.
Okay. So what will be the total for that year?
So roughly, I would say the total for that year, you're looking at for the entire year about $36,000 for the year.
Okay. And please, can you talk about the cost of living? Can you take us through the cost of living?
Wow. All I know is that Nashville is booming. So
Sorry,
trust me, look, it's like it went up 33%, and the cost of living is really high. And I had to move. I have moved from Nashville to Ashland City because the cost of living within, I'm saying, less than a year has went up 33%. So it's high. All I can tell you is high, the cost of living here.
All right. I think it's the same everywhere across the globe. We are fighting it here. So if you are looking to go to school, we need to save a lot of money and we need to start looking for scholarships. We don't have to wait till the last minute. This is the time to start. Dr. Hacker, do you have anything to add on to that?
So I think what I would rather do instead of kind of quoting prices to you and getting it incorrect, because we do a cost of living calculation that's on our website in terms of how much tuition is, how much room and board might be, and kind of those miscellaneous expenses that our financial aid calculates for all students. I'd rather send you that link so that you can see that. But then I want to give you a caveat to students. Most graduate students don't live on campus because living on campus is much more expensive than living off campus for students. Most graduate students don't live by themselves. They live with other students so that they can split the costs. So it kind of depends upon those kinds of factors in terms of what the total cost is. So when you see the total cost on our website, kind of factor that in. The other thing that our state now requires is that we have low to no cost textbooks because the cost of textbooks is getting really out of control all over the place. So we have a $25 per credit hour fee, regardless of the number of textbooks or how much the textbooks cost in every course that students take, and they're available on the first day of school. So we're trying to cut down the cost on textbooks and other kinds of costs that students have to absorb. So I will send you that link in terms of what the estimate is for the overall cost for a student to attend NSU when I send you the fee waiver code as well.
All right. Thank
you.
And
I also want to enlighten that Tennessee State University is the national hub for open educational resources. Open educational resources and what most of our faculty members at Tennessee State are using, or they're not using any textbooks to where it's required for you to buy a textbook. So when you go into our learning management system, which we use eLearn, majority of the faculty members have already got the information into modules and that information where you don't need a textbook. So most of the courses is through open educational resources. And we also have a curated library called Malo, where you can get this information, as well as seeing even textbooks that is already into this library where you can use. And that's malo.org, which you can become a member of that, and that is free as well to get that information.
Right. Thank you very much. Okay. Do we want to say something? I think, okay, let me not assume. Have we exhausted all our questions? Okay. Thank you, Dr. Black, for the link. Okay, if we've exhausted all our questions, then I would like one of us to say thank you to Dr. Black and Dr. Haka. I don't want it to come from me. Just give us a short feedback of how this session has been useful, because I think that will be good for them before we move on to Mr. Mark Ochre to talk about scholarships. Anyone here? I want one of us to volunteer to do this. Just put your hands up if you really enjoyed this session and you want to say something to Dr. Black and Dr. Haka. Please doing this for us.
I could.
Okay, hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hi.
you can mention your name, where you are listening from, and then you go out.
My name is Fikumi, and I'm listening from Nigeria. And one thing I really enjoyed today was learning about the application fee waiver, because in Nigeria we're experiencing a serious depreciation of the naira against the dollar. So it's nice when a university offers a waiver for the application fee, because it gives you more opportunities to get into schools that you naturally wouldn't have applied to because of the application fee. To be very honest, I wasn't really considering American schools, but right now, after listening to both people, and thank you for their time, I'm actually looking into the schools and seeing courses for myself. Thank you very much.
Thank you. This is really good. Thank you so much for this. Thank you. This is phenomenal. I think there's one last question. So there's a question from Daniel. Please, do you have MPhil English as a program in any of these of the universities we have today?
I'm sorry, would you repeat that?
Do you have MPhil English as a program in any of your universities? MPhil English. So English, like a degree in English?
Oh, as a foreign language?
Yeah.
We do not.
Okay.
We do not either. Sorry.
Yeah. So Daniel. All right, then I'll say thank you, Doctor, once again. I think we said enough thank yous. You can still stay with us, but we'll be moving on to Mr. Mark Ochre. Mark, please, are you here? I know whenever we hear about universities and we get excited, the next thing is we need money. So we need to talk about scholarships. Mr. Mark Ochre is a strategic scholarship applicant.
Yeah.
He has a lot of information on his LinkedIn account. He used to be my teaching assistant, my TA in KNUST. He's done a lot for himself. He's now a PhD candidate at Bern University at Switzerland. So he's going to share his whole process, how he got all his scholarships to go to school. And I'm sure we'll have one or two to take away from today. So Mr. Mark Ochre, please proceed. And thank you for accepting our invitation.
Thank you very much, Ms. Arthur. Yeah, so as she introduced me, I used to be a teaching assistant back in KNUST. And then from there, I enrolled in a master's program in my department, the Department of Communication Design. And after the master's program, it became difficult for me to get a job in academia. So I thought of, why don't I start a research consultancy? And I was able to assist over 35 students to complete their undergraduate and graduate thesis. So I was building up my research skills. So from there, I applied for a number of scholarships from different countries, but they all couldn't work. And then one day, I sent an email to one of the authors I had cited in my master's thesis, and he was interested in my PhD proposal and also my draft article. So it was a journal article, The Graphic Design Workforce in Ghana, a case study of Asafo Kumasi. And that also opened the door for me to be awarded a scholarship by the Swiss government Excellence Scholarship Program. That was in May 2018. But before I got the scholarship, a year earlier, I had applied and I couldn't get it. So I was wondering, so what is the way forward? Because, I mean, things are becoming difficult and I didn't know what to do. So I sent the evaluation body an email requesting for feedback. And the head of the grant unit was very excited to hear from me, and he provided me with the necessary scores that I obtained after the evaluation. So I got to know for the three criteria that they were looking for: one, the candidates, the academic profile, the research capacity, and the motivation. I got to know that I had scored 85 over 100. For the second point, which was the research project, originality and methodological soundness, I had also scored 80 over 100. And for the third point, which focused on the academic context, quality and context of supervision, and potential for future academic cooperation, that's one too, I scored 80 over 100. So you could see that the scores were good. But he went on to say that other applicants scored higher than myself. So I was like, okay, this is very good. And then I went online and I started networking with more academics, more educators, more authors in my field. And I sent them my proposal and they sent interesting feedback. So based on that, I revised my proposal and I submitted and I got the scholarship. So the day I was given the negative response on May 2017 was the same day the following year that I received a positive response. So getting a no means next opportunity. So that is a little bit about my story. So now I will talk about how to strategize if you want to really get a scholarship. You would notice that everybody in, let's say, our part of the world is looking for scholarship. So how can you come across as a potential applicant? If you approach an academic and the person does not know you, what should the person know about you that would encourage the person, oh, okay, so this person is the right applicant you are looking for? Now, you have to be on the person's social media posts and be engaging with the person informally so that your name comes across as somebody with the potential. So recently, I used that approach and then I got an offer for an international fellowship at a university in UK. But because I've not completed my PhD and submitted it, they had to put it on hold. So that approach really works. So you have to look at scholars in your field by Googling their names and then reading a little bit about their research interest areas. Then what you do is that you start commenting on what they are sharing online, whether it is on Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn. By just leaving valuable comments, you would come across as somebody who has the potential. So once you reach out to them, they would also be willing to express their willingness to help, because indirectly you are contributing to their online presence and they love such engagements. But if all of a sudden you send me an email, I mean, I don't know you and I have other responsibilities, so I'm not coerced to respond to your message. So that approach is very good. And then you can send them an informal inquiry, which is something that I usually do. So for the informal inquiry, I gather all the necessary documents and then I make my intention clear. Okay, so my name is Mark Otri. I come from Ghana. I am a graphic designer by profession and blah, blah, blah. And then I let them know the reason why I am contacting them. Because if you contact somebody and the person does not know why you are contacting him or her, how can the person respond to your need? So that is also very crucial. So once you let them know what you are looking for, then they will tell you, okay, so if this is what you are looking for, look at our website, make sure you meet the eligibility requirements, and then put in an official application. Then from there, they will let you know whether you are within the requirements for international applicants who qualify for a scholarship. And they will tell you, once you meet the requirement, they'll tell you, okay, so you can proceed and apply. And that really helps, because if you are not within the admission requirements, it will be a waste of time. So contacting them informally opens the way for you to know exactly what they are looking for. So a strategy that I normally use is that I tell the scholarship applicants, tell them about yourself, a little bit about your education, your experience or employment, and then your skills. So which people normally abbreviate as EES, education, experience or employment, and then skills. And from there, you let them know your research interest, and your research interest should be something that they can supervise. So you look at their publications, and then you look at the introduction, the conclusion, and then the abstract. Then you come to the recommendation. So what are they recommending for future studies? So once you propose something within that area, then they can see the common interest between your research field and their research field. So when you write to them, they would respond. Now, once you have captured that, then you send them an email requesting for their response in terms of what you have gathered, your unofficial transcript or official transcript, your academic certificate, your 2-page CV. The 2-page CV should be tailored to the program you are looking for. So if it is communication design, the CV should let you come across as somebody with the necessary skills and experience for a graduate program in communication design. So whatever thing that you have done in the past, everything should be related to the program you are looking for. Now, if you go off tangent and you are adding more details, ask yourself, how are the details that you have added reflected in the job description? Because if it is not reflecting what they are looking for in the job description, your application wouldn't come across as a strong application worth considering for a scholarship. And then you would also have to verify their email address. I normally use emailchecker.net so that I would know that this particular email is active. So when I send the email, I know that I would get a response. Then you send the message and then you wait for a response. I remember there was a time I sent a message to a professor in the US, and it took me close to 6 months before he responded. So patience is a virtue when you are looking for scholarships. If you send an email to a professor today, don't expect that the following few days the professor should reply, because they are also busy going about their daily schedules and activities. So without you being patient and you keep sending messages, you are spamming their inbox and they can decide to respond or not. There was a time when I contacted a professor in Switzerland and the professor never responded. I submitted the application and then I didn't get the offer. After some years, that same professor was the professor who was part of a conference I had attended, but he never spoke anything. You know, so sometimes if you assume that this particular professor, his research area is similar to mine, and you send a message and after 2 weeks, you don't get a response, I tell people that just move on. So what I normally suggest is not to focus on a particular university. You just have to be open-minded. You look for all the universities in your field across the globe, because wherever the door opens for funding, that is where I believe you should be. Because if you've gained admission to a university in the US and you are offered partial funding, how are you going to make it over there? You would struggle. So scholarship applicants should have at the back of their mind, you can get admission, which is good. You can get partial funding, which is good. But if you're not able to meet the other requirements, how do you get there? This morning, for instance, one of the scholarship, one of the persons I've been following posted about someone being offered admission to a US university, but the person is in need of a flight ticket. And then I said, of course, I have also experienced a similar thing. So I shared with the person my experience. that the person should do A, B, and C, and things will be okay. And then I went on to draft a letter how the person should go about the whole thing. So it's my prayer that the person gets it and can leave the country as soon as possible. So if you are looking for scholarships, one, locate people who are sharing scholarship tips on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Facebook, and then follow them, ask them questions, send them DMs. They would respond. Me, for instance, anybody who has sent me DM, I responded because I really want to help people. I want to help as many people as I can from developing countries. It is for that reason why I made my headline on LinkedIn as someone who helps students from developing countries to become successful in terms of searching for scholarship to study abroad. So anybody from developing country contacting me should be rest assured that the person would get an answer to whatever question he or she has. On my people have contacted me from Kenya, from Nigeria, from Tanzania, from the UK, and a number of countries. So know people who are posting about scholarship tips and then ask them questions. They are ready to answer. So the next thing is that where to look for scholarships. So there is a book. The title of the book is The Grants Register. It contains all the scholarships across the globe. So maybe Swiss government excellent scholarship, they'll give you the details, the eligibility requirements, and the email address and the link. So once you are aware of such scholarship opportunities or where to look for scholarship offers, then you can get in touch, visit their website and see whether you meet the eligibility requirements. So the eligibility requirements should reflect the kind of application that you are submitting. If you don't meet the age requirements, please don't try applying, because at the end of the day, that would be used to disqualify your application. So you would have to read the requirements carefully and then make sure that you meet all the necessary requirements. So that book really helps. And then you can also use Google Advance. The Google Advance, for instance, you can maybe type research councils in US. And once you type whatever research councils that are based in the US, they would come up for you to know which ones are within your field, and then you can dig deeper. You can also look for scholarships from published articles. In terms of the published articles, you will notice that they would state under the section funding. So this research was funded by ABC. So once you go to that particular website, or once you Google that particular awarding body, you would read more to find out, okay, so do I meet their eligibility requirements? Then I can put in an application, or I can send an informal inquiry to them to find out more. Then you can also look at scholarship portals. For instance, maybe find a masters.com. That website, I used it and it really helped me to apply for a studentship in the UK, which I didn't get. You can also speed up your search for a scholarship by using the website www.mastersportal.com. On that website, you can type where to study. That is the country, and then what to study. So what to study, where to study. So once you type and you click on the search, it will give you the list of programs within that particular geographic region. And then it saves you time, it saves you energy, so that you know that, okay, these schools are offering my programs. Then you dig deeper by sending them an informal inquiry to know whether you meet the eligibility requirement as an international student. Then you can also ask your alumni network, oh, please, I'm looking for scholarship. Do you have an idea? You can also look at government organizations' websites. For instance, maybe Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the various countries. They might be aware of scholarship offers from international countries that are given to persons from their geographic regions, and they would state it there. Then you can also look at agencies that give aids. You can also look at embassies across the globe, whereby they normally state, okay, so for this particular embassy, the range of scholarships that we normally handle include the following. You can also look at newspapers, social media posts. You can look at conference proceedings. You can also look at white papers, free reports, webinars, podcasts, newsletters, policy briefs, all these possible places that I'm mentioning. They would give you a hint about where they got their source of funding from. Then you can dig deeper. You can also ask NGOs, do you fund research in this area? If they have the funds, they will let you know. You can ask managers, you can ask policymakers, you can ask people who have published working paper series. And once they know you need something from them, they would definitely respond. So the third point for the talk had to do with available scholarships. Those attending this meeting can explore. So the available scholarships are the ones that people normally share, or the ones that you can find in the grants register. So once you have a rough idea and you just type and there is something on the internet, or you follow people who are sharing scholarship tips like scholarship abroad on LinkedIn, like almost every day they are posting something. So there are a number of scholarships for these regions. Then you find out more, you dig deeper. That is when you will be able to know whether you meet the eligibility requirements or not. Then you keep asking. So once you send a message and you are not getting a response, that does not mean you are not going to get it. But the main secret is to find somebody who has been successful and then learn from the person. So in my case, the first time that I didn't get the Swiss Government Excellence Scholarship, I went online, I started searching, and I found 2 people on LinkedIn who were able to provide me helpful feedback. And I used that to my advantage. And the second application, I was successful. So sometimes finding out how people can, or people who have been successful, how they can share with you or how they can review your application documents really helps, so that you know that, okay, so this thing for this particular scholarship, you might be considered, because it's very competitive. With the Swiss government, I was told that 1,200 applicants applied and they gave the scholarship to only 250 applicants. So you can work out the percentage, and the funding for every year is limited. So once you Google maybe Swiss Government Excellence Scholarship, you get to know more about them. And if you meet the requirements, they will definitely let you know. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mark. Like, you've given us so much information that I don't know, it just blew my mind, because these details you gave are very practical. They are not superficial. They are not something that is somewhere that you went to pick to present to us. It's you adding a personal touch to it. That was what made the difference for me, taking us through your own personal process. So before we jump and ask people to give questions, so first of all, thank you. To ask questions, we have a very important delivery that we want you to highlight on. How many hours? This scholarship process you are talking about, it all sounds fun and easy somehow, but we know it's a tedious process. How many hours would you recommend that one invest or calculate to put into applying for scholarship? As in weekly, daily, how many hours? Dr. Black gave a suggestion of 2 to 3 hours a day. But from your experience, can you give us more insight to how we can practically make this happen? Because I know most of us are also working. So putting aside 2 to 3 hours for scholarship besides application processes and stuff might be a bit tedious. But those of us who are not doing anything, this is very important. So you wake up, you sit behind your computer, you know this is what you are doing. But Mark, can you add a bit more to what Dr. Black suggested? Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much, Felicia. So I think it depends on the individual. sometimes I can say maybe 15 minutes if you are somebody who is working. I came across a book, Writing Your Dissertation 15 Minutes a Day. So that book has to do with people who are studying and working at the same time and all that, and they don't have time. So maximum of 15 minutes or more is okay. And I would also suggest you could do it maybe first thing in the morning or last thing, or you can block some minutes or some hours depending on your strength. And then you can find out, okay, so this is what I want to do for today. Do I have the necessary time, or do I have the necessary documents to move in a particular direction? If you are stuck, you can find out from somebody who has already been there, and the person can share with you what works and why, and what doesn't work and why. So I think it depends on the individual.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Let me look at my inbox before I analyze your own schedule. Okay, wonderful. I like the shadowing part. From my experience, how much follow-up is too. So okay, Derry says from your experience, how much follow-ups is too much? Almost as much as spamming someone's inbox.
Okay, great. So sometimes you might come across as somebody who is demanding too much. It's more like a relationship. So for my supervisors, the first time I sent them the email, they were excited because I had worked on the substantial part of the inquiry, the proposal. I have collected all the necessary documents, so they could have in their mind, okay, so this guy would be a good fit for our program. And then we started building that relationship. So from September 2016, I corresponded with them till May 2018 when I got the scholarship. But sometimes I send message, they don't respond. Sometimes I send message within the next few hours, I would get a response. So you have to observe to know what works and what doesn't work. So if, let's say, one day I come and then somebody has sent me 10 emails on the same subjects, I mean, it's just too much. So you just have to test the waters. So this person, what is the response rate like? There was a professor I contacted in Australia, and then every time his response would come, he would tell me, oh, Mark, I'm really sorry. It seems that, I mean, I'm busy over here. And the time difference between Ghana and Australia is 12 hours. So he told me that he gets 50 emails every day. So you can just imagine 50 emails a day. So supposing I send my email, let's say at a particular time whereby he is asleep or maybe he's at the work, and then other emails comes, mine would be underneath. So it depends on the priority. So there is a principle called the law of first impression. So the first impression that you create would be at the back of the recipient's mind. So this person, he wants this. Is he able to give us what we are also looking for? So you need to think of it as a long-term relationship. You are building some form of network so that they can really get to know you. Because I noticed that the first recommendation letters that the first support letters that my academic supervisors wrote for me, they weren't strong because they didn't know me. It was like, oh, this guy, he wants to complete PhD. So they just wrote something not strong. But in the second one that they submitted, it was very stronger. And that was the determining factor that led to the award. You know, so if they don't provide you with a strong support letter, you didn't get it. Even if you are to get, let's say, 95 in the candidate's profile, and then the research project, 95 over 100, but the academic context, you are getting maybe 60 or 75, you are not going to get it. So you should be able to think of what do I have that I can provide for the other party. So it's more like you give, you receive, they give, you receive. So once that combination is there, people are ready to help. So it depends. You just have to test the waters and see, and then you will know what to do.
All right. Thank you, Mark. I think there's another concern here. Margaret is saying that I think most of your delivery dwelt more on people interested in research. How would you advise others looking to do MBAs? Who do they contact? Because you were heavy on contacting people interested in your field and other things. So, for instance, if I want to do MBA, how do I apply your experience?
Okay. So if you want to do MBA, you need to talk to people who have been in the field before. So let's say MBA and talk to them. They will give you a thing they are looking for. So once you go to their website, you would get requirements are, and then your informal inquiry would be towards that goal. So if I'm looking for people who are in academia, the ideal thing is to talk to people who are one step ahead of me in academia, people who are at the same level, who are also deciding to go into academia, and people who are behind me. But the best person to help you is somebody a step above or a step ahead of you. So that person has been there, and that person has what you are looking for. So once you contact that person, the person can really help.
All right. Thank you. And please, participant, note that Dr. Amma and Dr. Black are putting in very insightful suggestions in our chat session. So you can be reading to take notes. Also, whilst we are getting to the end of the program, we have a feedback form that we encourage you to fill to help us improve our next session. So whilst we are engaging, please just takes like 3 minutes to go through the feedback form. Tell us how you felt about today's session and what you want us to improve on the next. Thank you. So any more questions? So Mark, I think I also do give a quick suggestion based on my experience. So mine was not about scholarship, but it's about contacting the right people ahead of any opportunity you are looking to venture. I remember when I was going to do undergraduate in KNUST, I was living in Cape Coast. I had not been to Kumasi before. I didn't know anyone. I knew most of my friends would be going to school there. And this is even in Ghana. But I was still nervous. I needed to connect with people who had the same goal, who were in the same situation as myself. So what I did was I went to Facebook. Then LinkedIn was not a thing. Looked at the Kwame Nkrumah University page on Facebook, looked at other people commenting on the admission opening and noticed that a few people were interested in the school. So I followed them. We became friends. We started exchanging pleasantries, sharing experiences, getting feedback here and there. And that was how I was able to stay on top of my preparation for undergrad. I even remember befriending someone from my faculty, and he's now a popular artist, Bright Akwe. So I remember the first day I came to school, he held my hands, took me around, and exposed me to a lot of things that my friends didn't have opportunity to. So like Mark is saying, if you are also looking for scholarship, go to LinkedIn, go to social media. I've done it before. When I wanted to go to University of Ohio, I went to their page, I checked their alumni Dropbox session, saw a few alumni I became very good friends with. Even though I didn't end up going there, we are still very good friends. They sometimes send me information from the school, from alumni platforms and portals. So networking is very important, especially when you want to go to school, you want to venture into any profession whatsoever. So what Mark is sharing can go beyond applying for scholarship, but you can also apply it in your daily life. The other bit I want to touch on is communication. I'm saying this because Ahaspora is big on mentoring. So this is also an opportunity for us to mentor our mentees. When you want to approach someone, even on WhatsApp informally, don't say hello and wait for them to respond before you proceed to talk. So you could see Dr. Black was very clear on how, I think Dr. Amma was clear, gave a sample of how you approach people. Go straight to the point. I'm Felicia Arthur. I'm from Ghana. This is what I do. I cannot stop iterating that enough because it's an experience I have with many mentees. So you go straight to the point so that the person gets the time to read your message they quickly know what you need and respond abruptly to you. If not, it becomes difficult for them to relate because they don't have the time to be going through the step-by-step communication. Hi, how are you? How are you doing? I'm from Ghana. Like, it doesn't work that way in the professional field. So let's take everything we are learning serious. That's my little input I wanted to add to the whole conversation. But yes, we are open for more questions. Any more questions for us before we wrap up? We'll be wrapping up in the next 5 minutes. We want to stay on top. Okay, Dr. Amma, please come on and share. Feel free to unmute yourself and share something with us. We see that you are putting a lot of great insights in the chat session.
Oh, Felicia, you said exactly what I was typing. So I was just saying, that's a great point. Networking is so important because, there's so many different talented, resourceful people within an organization that you're a part of. And so, for example, you all are already doing a great thing being a part of Ahaspora. So you may continue to encourage some of your colleagues, your friends, to also do similar. Join an organization because that helps you get information and get to where you need to go. So we were saying the same thing, Felicia, that networking is so important. And I love what you said and gave an example about greeting people. I know Felicia gets it a lot. Mark, Dr. Black, Dr. Hacker, Dr. Bellamy, Dr. Lee that's on here, you may frequently, and that's also for students in the diaspora. They do that too. Hi, like you said, how are you? And you're going back and forth. And so if you're emailing somebody like Dr. Black, who's really busy, she might see the hello and just not answer because she doesn't know what it is that you need. So that's such great information, Felicia, your point of get straight to the point, give a greeting, and what is it that you need help with? Because most people that are working in academia are looking to be very helpful. So if you tell them what you need, even if I don't know the answer, I will try to find out who does know the answer to help you. So I'm so glad you gave those points, Felicia.
Thank you so much too. Okay, let's say also, I want one more person to also go on mute if you don't have any question and tell us how you felt about Mr. Mark Ottere's presentation and say a big thank you to Mr. Mark on behalf of all of us. But before you do, I've already put Mr. Mark's LinkedIn on the in the chat session, so you can scroll up a bit and follow him on LinkedIn. It's also on all your WhatsApp platforms. I've also posted that there. Dr. Black also posted some information here. I've shared that on your WhatsApp platforms too. So please take note of all these information for your future reference. So I want one person to go off mute. We got the Nigerian representative do the first one for us. So can we get another country repping to tell us how they felt about Mr. Mark Ottere's delivery and what the takeaway was for them? Deborah.
Yeah, I just want to say, I just want to add one thing, okay? When I get emails from students and I'm trying to figure out who they are because they don't really tell me. So I'm thinking that they're already a student at TSU and they don't tell me that they're not. So I'm thinking, okay, now, and then I can't find them. I'm like, okay, so where are you? I mean, are you a student here? So I have to ask all these questions just for them to get to what they really want from me. Okay. Which takes a lot of time that I don't really have, but I am willing to help, but just please give me all the information up front.
Thank you, Dr. Yes, it happens to me all the time because I'm dealing with 800 plus mentees. So it can be very tedious. Sometimes just I pick the phone and I do Dr. Ahmed style, do a voice note. I'm like, girl, go straight to the point. But yeah, that was just by the way. Please, can someone come off mute and say thank you to Mr. Mark and share their insights with us? Who is willing to do that before we wrap up? If I don't get anyone, I'll be forced to mention names.
Okay, I just want to say I'm from the United States, okay? I want to say, Mark, you were so on point. You gave vital information and reference about international resources of how to get scholarships. Yeah. Now, I don't want to put this out in the bag, but this is one of my passion is I'm trying to create and write a grant where we can help international students come to HBCUs.
Yeah.
So that's one of my visions already that I'm trying to work with. So Mark, you continue. Spread the news with this, okay? Because right now, Tennessee State University, all the scholarships other than from the departments, these are third party. So you got to do the research on that. Awesome, 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 awesome. Not only that, what I'm going to do, I got your information, and believe me, all my international students that come to me, they're going to get your link to get in contact with you to get this vital information. It was fantastic, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Black. You said it all, but I think I want to add one student voice. One student voice, please. My darling students, let's do this, please. My young adults. Should I mention names?
This can be an opportunity for a scholarship, so don't be shy.
Okay, Derry, come again. I see your hands up.
Yeah, I tried the first time, but the Nigerian lady took the opportunity. So
okay,
let's do it again.
Tell us your name, where you are coming, where you are listening from, and please go ahead and give it to us.
Sure. My name is Derry Emmanuel Derry Wanye. I went to Ashesi.
Nice.
I graduated in 2019, and I've been working at Ashesi for about 4 years now.
Awesome.
Yeah, I just want to echo everything that has been said about your presentation. I particularly find it very interesting the way you spoke about patience and then shadowing. Those were the two main highlights for me, because usually I think our generation, we don't have patience. But you made it clear that we need that, and also the shadowing part, because I've heard it so many times how you need to find people, because they are usually people behind the systems or the institutions that we are always looking to get in touch with. So thank you so much for taking the time, and we really appreciate your insightful nuggets.
All right. Thank you so much, Derry. So, and on that note, on behalf of Ahaspora executive, the Ahaspora team, my colleagues on the call, and all our darling participants, I would like to say a big thank you to our speakers, Dr. Bellamy, Dr. Black, Dr. Amma, Mr. Mark Ochre, everyone who made the time. I know Sundays are very busy for everyone. You like to take naps and get ready for Monday, but you sacrifice this time for us. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. This has been one of our best webinars. At the end of the webinar, we are going to edit the recording and have it up on Ahaspora's YouTube page. We'll also share it with you, so you can share with your students to reference. Our students and participants can always go back and catch up on what they missed out on. This is one of many series. We are looking to bring on board University of Edinburgh, Cornell University, and Columbia University. So hopefully in the next month, we'll have our second webinar for our students. So thank you all so much. I hope we'll see a lot of students applying to Tennessee State and NSU, and a lot of people connecting with Mr. Mark Ochre. And I want to hear a lot of success stories on scholarships and everything good news. Thank you. Have a lovely Sunday evening. Please don't forget to fill my feedback form. I'm going to put it on your WhatsApp pages. I'm going to put it here one last time. So for those who missed out, can fill in quickly for me, because this is how we are able to have insightful conversations like this. We take your feedback and we apply that in our programming to ensure we are giving you exactly what you want. Have a pleasant Sunday evening. Let's stay in touch on our WhatsApp pages via email. If you need me, you can email me at felicia@ahaspora.com. There's info@ahaspora.com to reach out to the main Ahaspora team. Visit our website for more information. Follow our social media pages at Ahaspora and stay connected. Have a pleasant evening and goodbye.
Sure, bye-bye. Thank you for the session.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye, everyone.